Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is April 25th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite and the GOES 18 imagery. You can see that snowpack shows up quite well on the satellite image here. Some of the low clouds infiltrating into Southern California, especially along the coastal regions here. But we got some glorious sunshine elsewhere, some pretty warm temperatures coming up for some areas. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the extended forecast. We've got an interesting trough that looks like it's going to take up residence here across the state of California as we go on in through the extended forecast. We'll take a look at those details here in a moment. Now, taking a look here, if you guys want a nice affordable home weather station, click on the link below, get 10% off, all solar powered. Shows all the data for you in the web there, and it's a very accurate weather station. Been comparing it against much more expensive equipment here, and this is a very good home option. Now, looking at this flood watch here for Yosemite National Park out there, watch out, that melt off is occurring out there, so watch out for that excessive runoff leading to flooding of rivers, creeks, and streams. And this is from Thursday, April 27th through Tuesday, May 2nd here, so just be prepared for that. And the air may be hot, but the water is cold. All that runoff is pretty chilly out there, so just be aware of that as well. This is looking at divisional average temperature ranks. So you can see Northern California really very cold here in the last 129 years. You can see second, third, and fourth here. Pretty chilly here across much of the state, though. Coastal regions not quite as abnormally cold. This is looking at high temperature outlook here for today. Look at Palm Springs, well up towards 105, 106 degrees. San Diego, much cooler along the coastline, of course. But once you get away from that coastline, you can see these temperatures really get up there pretty quickly. Now, this is looking at 2-meter temperature anomaly, GFS. Let's put this into motion, and you can see these warm temperatures exist across the state as we go on in through this weekend. But then watch as this trough comes down early next week, and look at the entire state of California is going to be below average here basically as we go through midweek coming up here. We'll continue to watch this troughing here come across the region. You know, there's potential for some mountain snows. There's potential for thunderstorm. There's potential for precipitation really across anywhere across the state of California. We'll look at that in a little more detail here in a moment, but you can see these below average temperatures existing all the way towards next weekend here, perhaps existing on in towards next weekend. Now we're looking at up towards 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. Here's that ridge that's building here across Pacific Northwest, keeping us nice and warm here across the state of California. But then eventually this ridge gets knocked down and this trough comes roaring in here, and this wants to settle down over the state of California. We would now be into Monday afternoon here, and you can see this. Look at this trough, just a bullseye on California here. So this has precipitation chances associated with it, maybe some gusty winds as well, some mountain snows even possible here. So we'll see how this trends over the next few days, but the models have been very consistent in showing this troughing exist over the state of California. And you notice I'm scrolling out here, now we're in towards next Friday morning, troughing continuing to hold on, and looks like it even maybe reinforced a bit here as we go on in through the following week. So we'll see how this trends here over the next few days, but heads up for the potential big pattern change coming up here. Very unusual for California to get a trough of this strength here at this point in the year on in through early May. This is 18,000 feet. Again, this is the temperature. Just kind of give you a visual representation of what this upper level trough would look like. You can see the ridging finally get broken down by this trough moving into the west coast here. And look at this very, very chilly air just set up shop over California. This would be about May 3rd, the morning here. So look at that very impressive troughing here showing up in these extended forecast runs, potentially being reinforced all the way on in through early to mid-May. This is looking total precipitation in inches. I'm just going to speed through here and just kind of show you nothing expected here until we get towards next week. We're not to Saturday, Sunday, maybe a little precipitation across the Sierra Nevada there, but look at this trough just settle down over the area, and really no place is safe. Could get some precipitation all the way down through Southern California, Sierra Nevada, Northern California. Really the only place not showing up with much is the extreme southeast portion of California here. But look at this, some pretty big precipitation amounts for this time of year here across the state. This goes out through May 10th. This is looking at total snow 10-to-1 ratio, and we're going to scroll through this quickly as well, just kind of showing you that we could bring another round or two of snowfall, but we're not expecting to be measuring it in feet here, just maybe an additional few inches across the higher terrain. This is looking at Sacramento. Look at this warm up here as we go through the weekend, and the potential for that troughing as we go through next week here, dropping those temperatures way back down. Los Angeles International, similar there, and you can see the temperature drop back down as we go on in through next week. This is McCarran, Las Vegas, up towards 100 degrees potentially on Sunday before starting to cool down here as you go through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Palm Springs, very warm temperatures, and then that potential cool down with the next trough. This is current reservoir conditions. I've been showing this one. I mean, we've been doing really well across the state here. Look at Shasta at 96% of its reservoir capacity. Seems to keep creeping upward here. And yeah, we're 115% of that historical average there. Really, most of the reservoirs doing very well across the state. This is Stillwater content here. We're still doing quite nicely. The central is now just dropped a little bit below that 1982-83 max there, but the south is still in record territory here, and north still doing quite well, but still below that 82-83 max as we start to melt this huge snowpack down across the higher terrain. And of course, the drought monitor here, just wanted to show you guys this if you didn't see it yesterday, but we are just very few areas with even moderate drought. We had some extreme and exceptional drought across the region here. We've totally erased it. Very good news here for 2023. Now check this out. Sea surface temperatures across the planet right now as we head in towards El Nino. This is really kind of a sobering outlook on just how warm the oceans are right now. And, you know, this is... as we head in towards a strong El Nino, we're likely to continue this. We are shattering records. We're not just barely breaking all-time ocean temperature records here. We are completely shattering them here. So the planet is really warm right now as far as ocean temperature. So we'll continue to watch this here, and this could end up, maybe enhancing the El Nino, or El Nino will help enhance some of these temperatures here as we go through the next few months. Yeah, so anyway, we've got a potential dynamic trough here coming as we go on in through early May. This could bring some interesting weather here across the state of California. Talking about thunderstorms up and down the west coast, precipitation, snow for the higher terrain, gusty winds. I mean, just like an extension of winter here coming on in through early May for some areas. Obviously, the temperatures are going to be seasonably warmer here, but still, it's going to be an interesting time with that upper level trough moving across the region. So anyway, yeah, and if you guys want to help support the page here, click on that join button down below the video here, and you can, help me out a little bit here. The more I can make this kind of a side gig here, the more time I can put into this channel and spend, and try to do these briefings a little bit more regularly here for the state of California and other places across the country. And I do one daily for the Pacific Northwest as well. And if you want that home weather station, click on the link down below, save 10% off for that one as well. So anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow. It's starting to get interesting here with that troughing showing up in all the model runs here. So we'll watch that. And we'll break that down day by day here. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.